Peace fam, it's the Pressure Cooker Wellness channel and I'm back with another video. In this video I'm going to be talking about how to build your wellness team for PCOS. Now this is a very important topic. Before I understood the importance of collaborating with various health professionals, I felt like I wasn't getting anywhere, child, because I would have a doctor and the doctor was not well versed in nutrition or supplements, and they would either look at me like I'm crazy or they would give me the same advice over and over. Just diet and exercise, and I have said this before in another video. I've had doctors tell me that when I was at the fittest point in my life, and I'm like, child, I could bench press you, cut it out. So building a team with a diverse, I would say, entourage of health professionals is really going to be to your best interest. First thing you want to have on your health team is a good doctor. Get a doctor that listens to you, that collaborates. Okay, not just a good doctor, but a doctor that you can talk to, because there's going to be things that's going on that you need to make sure you can talk to them about, okay? And some doctors are not very good at listening. They just want to push medication on you without even really hearing where you're coming from. And sometimes, those medications are helpful and necessary. I'm not poo-pooing medication. I'm just saying, get a doctor that's going to have a good bedside manner. That's very important. The second person you want to have on your team is a good nutritionist or dietitian. This is very important because there's a lot of information out there about diet and exercise, but you want to find somebody that at least knows what PCOS is and how to treat it. Don't waste your time. Before you go in for that appointment, call that office. Hi, do you specialize in working with PCOS? Have you worked with clients that have PCOS before? And that way you're not wasting your time. If they kind of sound on the phone like, yeah, I'm familiar with that, child, run for the hills. Go ahead and get you somebody that actually knows what you're talking about. If you have trouble finding somebody in real life in a brick and mortar building, sometimes you can find people online that do specialize in PCOS that offer Skype sessions or like remote sessions. One person I would recommend is Angela Grassi. She is the person I mentioned a few videos ago. She wrote the book, the PCOS workbook, okay? That is a book that you want to get. It's very good. That's a good start for PCOS. That's a really, really good start. So I would recommend that. And this is a woman who I've seen who's a dietitian. She really knows her stuff. I would say she's probably the most well-versed person I've come across, at least in the States, that knew what she was talking about. Now that I'm in Canada, I feel happy with the team that I have. I'm still building it, but I feel like I've also run into good people that are dietitians. So dietitian is number 2. Number 3, if you're able to afford it or if your insurance covers it, get you a naturopath, because they're going to specialize in the supplements and the other things. This isn't super necessary because sometimes your dietitian may be well versed in supplements and that's enough to have them and the doctor. But this is optional, but I find that naturopaths tend to be a little bit more experienced and they're a little bit more nuanced in their training and they have a natural approach. If you don't just want to get stuck with metformin, and you want to explore your other options, perhaps that's a good person to look into. The fourth person that I want to talk about that's important is you want to get an endocrinologist. This is really, really important. Of all the specialists on your team that are doctors, you need to have an endocrinologist because they're going to be able to read some of that tricky blood work that us women with PCOS have. So, things like your I want to say it's your FSH level. I still don't know what that is, child, but I know my endocrinologist would look it up. They would test your testosterone. They would test your cortisol. They test a lot of things that, not necessarily that the other doctors don't know, but maybe they're not as well versed in. And any good doctor, if you have a good primary care doctor, they're going to recommend you to see an endocrinologist as well to make sure you're periodically seeing these people to keep, monitor your levels. So that's really important. Sometimes it takes a while, so start looking for one now if you don't have one. So we talked about your primary care physician. We talked about a dietitian and nutritionist. We talked about naturopaths. We talked about endocrinologists. The fifth person that is also optional, that would be a therapist. Now, PCOS takes a toll on you physically and it can take a toll on you mentally. Sometimes you feel like you're on the hamster wheel of life, like I had mentioned before. So if you feel like you need extra support, because sometimes when you have PCOS, along with that sometimes could come anxiety or depression or other health issues, and it's just not a fun walk in the park. So I would definitely recommend getting extra support. Okay, I am a therapist. I also have a therapist. Okay, and it's just really good not just to talk about PCOS, but if you have other things in your life that's causing you stress, stress is a real killer for healing from PCOS. Okay, I think I mentioned this in another video. Stress is not your friend when it comes to PCOS. So make sure that you are managing your stress levels, and one of those ways is to seek out a therapist. So that's what I recommend for the team that you have for PCOS. I have one last video for you guys in this series, and I'm going to be talking about resources. So go ahead and check me out, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye.